We've been planning this for at least 12 months on paper, and then we get up here 4 weeks prior, and we start rolling out cables 2 weeks. Sheds go in 2 weeks. It's a really big rollout for infrastructure in particular, and the cable riggers would get here first. They're the core crew. Usually the 2 weeks prior, they're rolling out cables. Obviously that infrastructure goes in fairly early. That way we're getting that out of the way so that we can place everything else in. It's a big operation because it's things contingencies that you don't want to have to put up with too close to the event. So we'd like to have everything done well in advance, and cable breaks or those sort of contingencies you've got to factor in. So a good 2 weeks prior, and we have it all in place. We'll be taking about 300 kilometres, I suppose, something like that. It's a lot of cable, and look, there's obviously contingency there as well, as I said, for extras that are put in place. Total number of crews about 300. We have a lot of production people here that again are working, months in advance before we get here. We bring an office virtually with us and set it up here in sheds, so we've got to make them feel as comfortable as possible. And we've got great catering here that makes them all happy and starts them off for a good day. It often changes, but I think roughly we've got about 32 track cameras. On top of that, you put in, this year we've got a camera in the sky in the helicopter. Coupled with that, we've got a blimp, which Holden have provided us. Then we've got our in-car cameras, of which there are 4 cameras in each car, and we've got 10 cars, so that's 40 different angles we've got on the cars alone. So looking at that, you've got roughly about 76 or thereabouts cameras or different angles you can have around the track. Because of the size of Bathurst, it requires a truck down what we call down the bottom here in the paddock, and there's another truck up the top which looks after the Castrol Hill. We integrate that with some infrastructure from top to bottom, and once we get through the first couple of cameras here, the next truck up the top of the hill does the rest, and then we come back down here. So the main core crew is down here in the paddock, directing everything, and the director will then has a support director up the top of the hill, just cutting the cameras there on the top, and it comes back down here. The main team is down the bottom here. Yes, that's right. We currently have 3 edit suites online here. Again, most of the pre-production is done, but because there's obviously stories that are happening forever being developed here on the track, we're constantly editing prior to the Saturday, Sunday. I think ultimately the team that we've got here is the best team you could possibly ask for. We'd like to show the world that this is one of the best races you can actually have. I mean, it's on par with with any other international event you could have.